Hey dudes, just a Dudesum here, and today we're going to be talking about the big news to come out of patch 14.11, and that's microtransactions. Obviously a bit of controversy behind this one, with BSG previously saying that they weren't going to have microtransactions within the game. It doesn't matter now because it's here, and the big question that everyone's thinking, is it worth it? So right off the bat, I will say this is not going to be whether or not you should be buying the stash upgrade or if BSG should be using microtransactions or what it means for the game. I'm going to be talking about if the extra stash lines are beneficial and when it would be most beneficial for you. Right now, if you go to the Escape from Tarkov website, you can see that the stash upgrade is available for purchase for $3 USD a line, which is just about a touch over $4 dues here in Australia. You can purchase up to 28 lines regardless of what edition you have, so standard, Edge of Darkness, doesn't matter. Which is a lot of stash lines if you already have the Edge of Darkness edition. So what does that actually look like when compared to just a standard edition in your stash? This is from my stream the day before the patch came out. This is just a standard account with a level 2 stash upgrade in my hideout. If you have a standard account with no upgrades to your stash, from your hideout, your stash would end here. And I will say my stash is pretty poorly managed at the moment. I consider myself a casual gamer, only maybe playing for a few hours every couple of days. So for me, I just want to dump stuff in my stash or in my containers, worry about it another time, and spend as much time in raid as possible. So the patch was released and I wanted to spend less time Tetrising my stash because it was starting to become a bit tedious, and as you saw before, my stash was getting fuller than a fat kid at an all-you-can-eat buffet. About here was where my stash ended before I purchased all 28 lines, and here it is now. It's definitely more than enough space, and this stuff that I've just put here is just items that I want to sell. I've segregated from the rest of my stash so I can do it later. I have it right there in front of me, so if I don't play for a few days, I don't forget about it sitting in a rig or a container. So now that I've shown the difference between a standard edition stash, a stash with a few upgrades from the hideout, and what all 28 lines purchased looks like, it's back to my original question, is it worth it? I'm going to start off with when I think it's not going to really have an effect, so I think you're better off just waiting out for the time being. So number one, Edge of Darkness owners. I think with the amount of stash lines you already have from EOD, the extra stash lines isn't really necessary. I saw a post on Reddit yesterday of an EOD owner showing how big their stash was, and it was so much space. I would be very surprised if it ever gets filled. So for me, don't really worry about it. Number two, new players. I remember when I first started playing Tarkov, stash management wasn't really an issue because I was dying a lot. Once you do feel the need to upgrade to stash level 1, it's pretty easy to upgrade to, and level 2 isn't too much of a stretch either. And number 3, if stash management isn't an issue for you, if you have thousands of hours in the game, you know how to manage your stash efficiently with containers or knowing when to keep and sell items, or if you're just enjoying doing a bit of Tetris every now and then don't worry about purchasing the extra lines. So when is it worth it? So number one, spend more time in raids. One of the most tedious parts of Tarkov is how long you spend outside of raid. It can take 5, 10, 15 minutes to get back into raid. With extra stash lines, you can cut that down by just dumping items that you can deal with later, or just have more kits ready to go so you can just re-gear and get back into raid. Number two is saving your rubles by not buying as many containers. Obviously, you're spending real money for fake game money, so take that as you will, but you won't have to buy as many junk boxes, weapon cases, or do as many stash upgrades, or don't have to prioritize them as such. So you can use that money to buy other kits or other tire items that you'd rather spend money on. And number three, buy as you go. I think it's a good thing that you don't have to purchase all 28 lines at once. You can just simply purchase a few lines at a time whenever your stash starts to get too full, or you feel like you're spending too much time mucking around in your stash and you just want to do a few lines at a time whenever that happens. At the end of the day though, is it going to stop things like this? Fuck! Fuck! No, it's not. It's not going to magically turn you into a Giga Chad or make you a killing machine. It's just simply a little bit better quality of life and maybe help spend more time in raid and less time outside of it. In my opinion, I don't think it's pay to win. Like I said at the start of this video, it's not about whether you should or you shouldn't purchase the stash upgrade. It is your money and it is your choice. If you do want more information as to why BSG has backflipped and they are implementing microtransactions now, Rolo puts out a really good video, and then Pestilli does a really good further analysis of it. So I'll leave those links in the description there if you want to know more about it. Anyway, dudes, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it gave you a little bit more information about the stash upgrades. If you did enjoy the video, please like, comment and subscribe. I'm also over at Twitch, so if you want to give it a follow over there, I'll leave the link down in the description below. Tend to keep it pretty chill, pretty relaxed, so until next time, see you then.